I buying a stencil stuff special thing who cost like 8 times than a Dettol when you can do. I made a third dimension stencil, what is like a piece over 10 people that was a stencil over 40 sheets of stencil paper. I done this with Dettol for like a few euro from the supermarket. A stencil fluid. So why buying fancy stuff, you know? Same with gloves. You not get a better tattooist with wearing black gloves. You don't. And there's a lot of, you know, as I see, you see the dirt, you see holes, you see a lot of stuff, and I don't know, I like it, you know. And yes, nitrile gloves, make the bestest for you. Buy a few different brands. We have now a lot of variety of brands here because of the corona situation. It's very difficult to get gloves. Normally I have one brand glove which I love. I buy since like 18 years the same brand of gloves, and they are very thin. They feel very great. It feels almost like you have no gloves on, and the more feeling you have in your hands, the better, because you are tattooing is not only an art form, it's a craftsman. I mean, it's craftsmanship, you know. You have a feeling, you hold the hand, you hold the skin. Every skin feels different, so it's nice to like actually touch the skin, feel the skin, and know what's going on. And that's why I love latex gloves who are a little bit tighter than my hands, so they are like really stuck to it. And when you take the gloves off, it's very nice when you like you make like kind of a fist, and then you like pull the gloves like this, because no, you have all the waste and the dirt and the blood and the stuff inside of the glove. So even when you are like throw it in the trash can, no, which I don't have here, even when you throw it in the trash can, it's kind of a little bit cleaner and safer. The same with all the wrapping. After I unwrap something, normally I throw all the stuff from my table, I throw on the bench, and then I take the clinch film from the bench and I wrap everything in the bench wrap. I will show you that later on, because in that way I'm already like kind of take care of the trash and the waste, because you have to think about, you are working with blood and with persons and cross contamination, you remember, so you want to avoid this, and it can even start with touching the trash can or stuff like this. So even with taking a little bit care of your trash, you go a big step into some hygienic important things. And yeah, as I say, you don't need white tiles and this fancy hospital like atmosphere, because this is not what makes tattooing clean. You are the one who makes tattooing clean, and everything what touches the body is what makes tattooing clean. And for me, tattooing is like finding the right balance. I 100% want and have protected every client from each other, even that I made a lot of crazy projects involving a lot of people, where it is still very tricky to keep cross contamination up, who keeps like working safe and clean up, and so on. And you still have to put that as high priority, and still you want to keep somewhere a nice atmosphere where people can feel good and feel like they into something experience, ritual, whatever you want to make out of it, but that they still feel comfortable, because when you not feel comfortable, you don't feel good. That's why you never feel comfortable and good in hospitals, even that there are some people helping you. And let's move on. Yeah, wear always gloves. Always gloves. I wear gloves for building up, cleaning, painting on the pupils. I pretty much wear gloves for everything and change the gloves like 100 of times and so on. And just protect everything. Shaving, cleaning, shaving, disinfection of the skin, preparing of the skin. So there it's where like a lot of people always argued with me, because I 100% a believer in the natural flora of the skin. What means I don't want to like over disinfect the human skin and the human body, because I believe that the natural human healing is and the skin is a very strong organ, and I want to support it, and I want irritate it as less as possible. So let's say I have like a girl who have like very thin hairs and not much going on. So I normally don't shave, because like that when the hairs are that thin that they don't really bother me and they don't affect my quality of the tattoo or my tattooing, then I will not shave them, because in that moment I shave them, I irritate the skin. And tattooing is already a big impulse in the human body, in the human skin. So you kind of want to not go too crazy with it. I more prefer to keep everything always clean all the way around, and everything was touches the body, than to go overly crazy with disinfection. I know tattooists like they spray like disinfection in between of the tattooing on everything, and in my eyes it not makes too much sense when you work clean. That's the same when a doctor make a surgery, they disinfect before, and then like when they finish they clean up everything, but they not throw like some sterilium or antibacterial stuff inside the surgery on the people. They usually don't do that, because when you like open and you work clean, then it stays clean. And I use Cutacept a lot for disinfect the skin, and also for the hands, where we usually use Sterilum, but it's both of them. It's kind of still very aggressive, so you just wanna don't overuse it. Just don't overuse it. And pretty much what I prefer a lot more is inside this is like just a normal spray bottle, and we've put water in, and I got a normal pH neutral soap. I don't have it here. What we use is Sebamed, and I can buy pretty much in almost every supermarket. It's like not affecting the not affecting the skin and the flora of the skin too much, and it have no cosmetic stuff inside. It's pH neutral. It's very nice, and that you can clean as much as you want. It don't really affect the human flora. It don't affect too much everything, and I kind of almost avoid all that stuff. I try to not go too crazy with all that stuff, and just try to work clean from the beginning to the end. And when you work clean from the beginning to the end, then you don't have to go too crazy. It's the same as when you cut yourself on a rusty nail out in the woods. Yeah, you have to disinfect it. But when you use a sterile scalpel, you don't have to worry too much, because it's just a sterile scalpel. That's pretty much the same. I try to keep everything safe. And let's go quick to what means sterile. It's very easy to say. When you buy something like this is sterile. When you put it in the autoclave, this is sterile. And it's like there's no bacteria, there's nothing inside, nothing. But there's one thing. You're only as long as it's sterile as you don't touch it with something unsterile. So that means when I put normal gloves on and I take with the normal gloves this out, it's not sterile anymore. It's not in that moment I touch it. No, it's unsterile already. It doesn't matter if I have gloves on or not. The only thing to protect it is to wear sterile gloves, but then still you don't have a sterile environment. And also a lot of the stuff you cannot buy sterile. I seen brands, they sell like the ink cups sterile, sterile ink cups, or like ink cups with sterile ink inside. And sure, you use the needles, but in a moment you have the needles out, they're exposed. In a moment the weakest part touches the needles, and so on. And then people buy like sterile ink caps and then don't have a machine back over the machine. That's pretty like, that's what I mean. It's like you have to think about. And for me, it was never a harm with like using normal ink caps as example, because as long as you have fresh new ink caps, even when there's some dust in, it will not cross-contaminate anyone with anything very special, and when you still work a little bit clean. And we never have anything open. We have everything in small drawers, and it comes from the bag. It's always safe, and we make sure never anyone touches the drawers with like dirty stuff, So that's what I mean. That's the most important thing. When you have gloves on and you tattoo already, and you need like 2 more caps, you have to put the gloves on to get this. And when you think it's a waste of gloves, it's not, because you jeopardize with the health of your clients, and that is never a cost. And same as with ink. You can get sterile ink, but also, I mean, ink is pretty sensitive, let's say it like this. And to sterilize it, you have to put it into a hot vacuum chamber for a period of time, what will 100% affect the ink. And then we have to talk about what is more important, that you have sterile tattoo, what makes not a difference in my eyes compared to a clean tattoo, but you have not lose quality of what you put in the human body. And I mean, this is the ink is what people carry the rest of their life in their body. So that is where I don't want to have compromise. I don't want to have ink with like already like 6 times baked into the autoclave. That would be way too risky for me to put that someone in. And as probably one of the person in the world who tattooed the most ink, who tattooed the most skin, like, I don't know, I tattooed hundreds of back and front pieces. And when you are checked my work, you know how much work and how big pieces I made. And I never had healing problems with the way I worked. Even that I used almost not really skin disinfection, that I used like a lot of stuff you buy in the supermarket, clean green soap, mostly water, normal tissue. That's also where it starts. You are like using sterile stuff, but then you would use like normal cleaning papers, tissues. They are never sterile, Then you would need to like Wundgas or stuff like they are like this size, and that would cost you like $1 million, and they are not so good for cleaning the tattoo, because you also have to think about the craftsmanship, and that you work on a human skin. Every skin is different and so on, and you also have to like see. So it have to be the balance between make it clean and safe and make it long lasting and nice, because you not want to have neither of it. You don't want to give someone infection, you don't want to give someone STD or some kind of disease, but you also don't want to give someone an ugly tattoo, because I mean, most disease you can treat, but like an ugly tattoo, there's not so much cure for it. And especially when you like scar up a tattoo, or like you it up, then you scar someone. Scars are affecting the rest of the life for a person, and you don't want to do that, I guess. I see some tattooists, they like glove up is till here, they wear masks and so on. And this is a very tricky part for me, because I know in that moment you are like sit very close to someone and you're like don't wear a face mask, you're kind of exposing your own bacteria. But I would say, as someone who works in a field that you expose with people that you like that close and you work with blood, you should on a regular basis get tested by yourself, tested for STDs, for any kind of disease, for any kind of transmitted disease, so you know you are safe, because it even doesn't matter what you wear. When you would have a disease, it's so easy to catch on to someone. And sure, it's questionable, because like, let's say over the eye, you get so easy stuff over the eye, and you should wear glasses, but I don't want like wearing a mask, glasses, and protection till here, because in that moment you're probably a little bit more safer, but you also you bring such a burden between you and your client that it gets so unpersonal. And tattooing for me is and was and it always will be something still very personal. And yeah, you have to have the right balance. And I better like no, I living a healthy life. I got tested from time to time. I take care of myself, and I take care of everything around. And I can kind of be a little bit more personal and private with the people I tattoo. But I also, on the other hand, I was never much that tattooist who had like walk-in clients, 6 different clients in a day. I tattooed like very specific clients. I had like no, I worked on very little peoples and made big stuff on them and very chooseful with the people I wanted work on them. So it was also a different burden than when I would work in a walk-in tattoo studio where like 15 people walk in and out in a day, which you touch with your needle. Then I would probably also act a little bit different. I would wear a mask and stuff. And also, that's are people's I don't know. And I also probably don't want to get catch something on. So you also don't only want to protect your clients from other clients, your clients from anything. You also want to protect yourself. So always think about who you tattoo, when you tattoo, and where you tattoo, and all the circumstances around, and try to be as safe as possible. The hygienic about tattooing is one of the biggest thing because when you are like work dirty, your tattoo will heal not good, and then your end result will be not good, and your clients will be not happy. And yeah, no happy clients means they don't come back, they don't tell their friends, and so on, and you will not have long clients, long lasting clients. And yeah, you want that people are happy and the tattoo looks nice, and the better the tattoo heals, the nicer it looks later. That's like it all goes together. So that's it, no, about the hygienic standards and stuff.